Welcome to Gamer Conversations. I am Bas Hamer and I want to take you to meet the people that make the gaming community great. For show notes and links, please visit our website. You can also email me at bas@gamerconversations.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Some content will not be safe for work. Hey guys, for a while we've been having podcasts where we do interviews of people that have affected the gaming community. But today we are going to do something slightly different. Probably everyone who listens to this podcast knows of someone or has personally been affected by bullying in one form or another. Sometimes this is because of the type of games that we play, and it's not very widely accepted like sports. Which brings me to my first guest, Zach.
My name is Zachary Barboza. I go to Mount View High School, and I am 15 years old.
Zach's story, I'm sure, is pretty familiar to all of us.
Yeah, I've been bullied since kindergarten, and I actually made myself a target of bullying by saving a friend who was being bullied. And attending the Gameloft has helped me greatly in this matter. I don't get bullied anymore because I don't make it any fun for them to bully me. And I don't let them control me anymore. And I stand up for myself and others. And it's all because of the confidence that coming to Gameloft has given me. Great.
He mentions Gameloft. And that is what I want to talk about today. What is Gameloft?
It's essentially an after-school program that focuses on combating teen isolation and social anxieties, and through the guise and tools of tabletop gaming. I mean, it's how the Gameloft pulls all of those ideals together and getting kids across the table to interact with their peers in productive ways where in the normal school environment, these kids would just be on the outskirts, not really accepted into the traditional cliques. And this provides them a safe place to express themselves with, similarly minded individuals, which is, what most communities are made of.
That's Jeremy Pesco. He lives in Belfast, Maine in the USA with his wife and volunteers at Gameloft as often as he can.
Once we got settled in, we lived, maybe a 15-minute walk away when we first moved out here. And I walked into town and kind of went inside and introduced myself, and there were a bunch of people in there playing Magic and other board games and role-playing games.
Gameloft started out as a bunch of tables in the back room where kids could come and play games after school.
Ray and Patricia Estabrook, who are the owners of All About Games, which is a game store, had the same situation. A lot of kids coming in to play Magic, and they had a table at the back of the store to let the kids play on, and then that just kind of started to get out of control, and they owned the building and ended up letting some of the kids run role-playing games or whatever upstairs. And they kind of got this idea about developing into something a little bit more, and I think it's been 15 or so years at this point.
So they got funding, which wasn't easy, but they got more space and also some other perks.
And they also feed the kids. That's one of the, kind of big concepts about the Gameloft, and they've actually got some USDA funding as an after-school program that feeds kids. So, they will never turn anyone away. Like any kid within the age range of school comes in and wants to just eat. We will absolutely just feed anyone that comes in, and that's a big draw for a lot of their funding.
All of this is to create a safe haven for them. Here's Zach again.
I feel, when I come to Gameloft, I feel like I'm going to a safe haven, almost. And it's like I'm coming home to my family.
These kids become really, really attached to the loft. I mean, it's their safety zone. You get into a high school environment, and I don't know how high school was for you, but for me, it was excruciatingly painful. I was definitely one of those outskirt nerd kids who, didn't really fit in with the jocks or the metalheads or the nerds, or not the nerds, but like the more scholastically inclined overachievers. And, I played role-playing games with my friends and video games, when I had stuff like that. But, man, like having this kind of environment in that age when you don't fit in with the groups that are already established, it's a really awesome thing to see that this community has developed to give these kids a safe place to be in a way that feels comfortable and empowering.
Besides feeling safe, the kids are also getting real world education, like statistics.
Yeah, but it's you say, do you want to learn statistics to a 15-year-old, and their eyes are going to glaze over. On the other hand, you say, hey, you want to play a game of Magic, or you want to learn how to build a deck, or hey, can I help you build a new deck? All of a sudden, they're going to be a lot more interested. My nephew that I kind of reconnected with when we moved out here, he was definitely struggling in school, and his reading and mathematics skills were definitely dragging behind other kids his age. But he was interested in Magic, and we would get together for hikes pretty regularly, and we started playing. And I think he kind of like he was definitely a beginner player who had maybe learned from just his local friends, but he was in a much more rural community too, so there weren't a lot of players. I mean, he might have only seen 6 at most other peer level kids that were also playing Magic. And you get a community that's small, it's usually some misconceptions about how the games and rules work. So he didn't have a firm grasp of the game, and then on top of that, some reading and mathematics deficiencies, and it just was kind of a recipe for frustration. But when we started playing, I taught him the rules, and helped him work out how combat works and how much damage this or that is taking and whether or not things are going to survive. I mean, it's pretty basic arithmetic, but when you put it in the guise of this fantasy environment with all these amazing monsters and creatures, I think that kids in particular tend to latch onto that stuff, and it makes it much more palatable. And honestly, I would say that for my own personal gains, I have learned vocabulary words for cards and Magic that I'll come across in more heady conversations later in life, and like I'll recognize the word just because it's a Magic card. Like I would say fecundity is not that's an SAT word, and I wouldn't have known that if it hadn't been for Magic. And there's a lot of words like that.
There are also programs that allow kids to play role-playing games for school credits, like Mountain View High School's Coming of Age in America program that Zach is a part of.
I'm doing the Coming of Age in America program in my school. It gives me half a history credit, which I'm very happy for. And I'm actually going to talk to my superintendent about getting my actual history credits for school out of this program. We're doing in the time before the Mayflower came to America. We are in Europe right now. Currently, me and my party of friends are in London delivering a wardrobe that my father made to Lady Elizabeth.
When I asked him the difference of going to a regular history class versus role-playing, he said this.
It's a lot more fun, and it's a lot more easygoing. I find I don't like history. I haven't ever liked history. I enjoy learning in this way, and I really like the way it's set up, and it's easy to learn, it's fun to play, and I remember everything.
So Gameloft provides a safe place for kids to come and be themselves. They are also learning real-life skills such as math and history, but they're also learning social skills like being part of a team.
Coming to Gameloft has made group work for me in school a lot easier. I like to work by myself. I always have. I'm not a big fan of group work, but working at the Gameloft, I've become quite a fan of it. I enjoy group work now. When I used to go into groups, I used to be scared that the kids would make fun of me. But now I don't care, and usually it ends up being quite fun.
And all of this, of course, starts with a safe community for kids like Zach.
Because everyone here knows what it's like to be bullied. Everyone knows what it's like to be in those shoes. So, and they all are kind people, and they're all caring, and they're all just like me.
The success stories are many. And that's, again, why those kids tend to make such powerful speakers for, fundraising events, because they can tell their success stories. And, a lot of these kids might have been, excruciatingly timid and fearful of talking to anyone, one of their peers in a one-on-one situation, or, maybe got, painful anxiety when called upon in class. And all of a sudden you put them in an environment of their peers with games involved, and they start to break out of that shell a little bit and learn that their voice does have power in a community of like-minded individuals. And we've had kids go from absolutely no public speaking ability at all to I went to a United Way fundraiser just recently, and we had one of the Gameloft kids tell his story in front of a group of, it had to have been 500 or 600 people. And that's no small thing.
My view on Gameloft is that it is an amazing community that provides an accepting place for people to bond and learn. It's also an example of what a gaming store could turn into, a community center. I would love to see a world where there are more places like this. It would help immensely in providing a network for kids to learn and teach each other. If you want to help Gameloft, they're always looking for books, dice, cards, and of course financial donations. Just go to gameloft.org for more information on donating. And of course, you can go to our show notes at gamerconversations.com and find all the information there. I'm your host, Bas Hamer. Thank you for listening. This was Gamer Conversations. For show notes and links, please visit our website. Gamer Conversations audio engineer is Ellen Lurie and is a Possum Labs production. I am Bas Hamer. Thank you for listening.